What is prayer? Prayer is, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I don't know what prayer is. I know how to pray. Jesus teaches me how to pray, and the church teaches me how to pray. I don't need to know what prayer is. I need to pray. And to pray, I need to be given prayers. If I leave praying to me, I don't trust myself to be in charge of my own praying, because then it just becomes agenda-based. It becomes a means for me to possibly manipulate omnipotence. I would say it this way: the primary purpose of prayer is not to get God to do what we think God ought to do, but to be properly formed. And toward that end, I need to be given the prayers. Now, there's always going to be the pouring out of the heart and just talking to God. I get that. And I don't want to take that away from anybody, but I want it buttressed by some form. Because if you just remain a selfish person, you pray selfish prayers. If you just remain an angry person, you pray angry prayers. If you're just a depressed person, you pray depressed prayers. So what we need is something to form us in prayer. And that's why we have the Psalms, we have the Lord's Prayer, and we have the great formative prayers of the church. I use the Book of Common Prayer a good deal. But you know, there's other, but I don't think we can just leave it to ourselves. I think we've placed an intolerable burden upon most Protestants. We tell them to pray, and then they say, well, what do I do? And we say, just talk to God. Well, that only goes so far. And then you're never able to rise above your own self in prayer. So when the disciples said, Jesus, teach us to pray, He didn't say, just talk to God. He said, when you pray, say these words. And He gave them a prayer. And we need those prayers. And as I am formed by the prayers of the Psalms, the prayers of Jesus, the prayers of the church, then I begin to find that I actually do have a way of articulating something that is good and healthy and healing. As I pray, I begin to pray better if I don't just rely on my own self to pray. I have my liturgy of prayer, and it's a track. You know, people sometimes, if they don't grow up around this, they'll say, liturgy, oh, that's boring. Or they'll say it's dead. And I'll say, no, that's a category mistake. Liturgy is neither alive nor dead. It's either true or false. That's what we ask about liturgy. Is this saying something true about God? And if it is, then let us pray it with life. I'm the one that needs to be alive. The liturgy needs to be true. I need to be alive. But for me, I need the formation that comes from prayers that are given to me. I need the church to say, here, Brian, pray these prayers. Because in praying these prayers, you will be properly formed. So my question isn't, if you ask me what is prayer, I say prayer is when I do this. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Well, that's not helpful, Brian. I just wanted to know, God answer my prayer. Yes or no? Yes or no?